Hey guys, it's Mario here, and in this video I have a very special topic that I wanted to cover with you guys, and this is going to be very interesting for you guys who want to be more successful in life. And we're going to cover how to reprogram or program your subconscious mind and your conscious mind to be more successful. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that you will start seeing the world as a world full of opportunities, as a world where your hard work will be rewarded, as a world where if you give value, the world will give back, which is very opposite of what the world currently looks like to most people. I mean, most people will perceive the world through the lens of news, mass media, BuzzFeed, and places like that, where the view looks like a horrible place. There's accidents, there's attacks, you're in danger all the time. There's a lot of things happening that you're basically a victim of, your government is holding you back, and a lot of these things where people literally view the world as a place where there's no opportunities, it's a horrible place, we're always at the verge of the next catastrophe, the world is going to end and things like that. So we want to shift more towards seeing the world as a place full of opportunities, a place where we can excel, where we can step up, be a leader, and become more successful. And this is related to a lot of questions that I've been getting from you guys, and we can zoom in a little bit on a couple of them, where it is really about how do you turn a negative day around, or a negative week around, or a negative month around, where you have really good goals, but you can't stick to these goals because there's always something happening where you fall into sort of a negative spiral where, let's say, you're stuck to a diet for a couple of days, but then something happened and you literally just fell off track, and now it just led to a whole day, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whole week, whole month off the diet, and you want to get back. Similarly with your business, similarly with a lot of things, we get on these negative spirals, we get on these loops that keep us negative. We don't see the exit, we don't see the way out of that. So what can we do to reprogram our mind? So first off, I want to point out that this is not a very well studied subject in psychology. There's a little bit of research which I'm going to mention here, and something that is a very interesting concept that first off I think plays a key role here, and that is the confirmation bias. So the theory of confirmation bias, what it really means is that we are creatures that seek proof in reality to confirm our own beliefs, rather than being creatures who are seeking for the real truth. Because our interpretation of reality is not just what we see and what we hear, it's actually how our brain interprets all the information. And often, and there's a lot of these biases, one most common one is the confirmation bias, especially when we're dealing with negativity. How does this play out in the real world? Well, you probably have experienced this at some point. Let's say you wake up, and the first thing you do, let's say you go to the toilet and you finish your little bit of a morning ritual, and you see an email that is instantly making you stressed. So this email comes from a boss or from work or from someone else, or there's a negative comment or something like that, and you instantly get stressed. So what that does for the rest of that day, it is just shifting your selective focus now to view the world as a little bit of a more negative place, because now that confirmation bias is going to start seeking proof for why the world is a negative place. So why the world is a stressful place, why there's all these bad things happening, and of course you're going to find proof for that. Similarly, you would easily be able to find proof why the world is a positive place. So it literally is your choice, which we've forgotten that it is our choice, that we can select how we perceive reality. And that is something that I want to point out here, is that we are victims of selective focus. We're victims of confirmation bias. And that's why often we can't even understand why some people are so negative while other people can be so positive within the same situation. While what's happening really is that these people have the same vision, same interpretation with their eyes, same thing that they hear, same things probably happening to them physically, but their brains are simply interpreting these facts in a completely different way. And that is that confirmation bias. And it's very easy for that confirmation bias to work on the principle of momentum. That means that, let's say, one day something bad happens to you and that day turns to crap, right? Next day, it's a little bit easier for you to perceive stuff as more negative. And that turns into, okay, of course something negative might happen. Bam, all of a sudden you're seeing the world as a little bit more negative the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day. Now all of a sudden you have a whole week of momentum where you see the world as a bad place. That turns into a month of momentum, and after a month you're depressed, right? Very, very easy. And it just started with one little thought. One little negative thought that entered your subconscious mind, where it just spiraled into a whole array of thoughts that in the end you couldn't stop, because that confirmation bias was always seeking for proof, and it's always going to find proof because of course the world is just a nuanced place where you can find proof for pretty much anything if you're looking for it. Regardless of the same situation, some will view it as positive, some will view it as negative. And it's important to remind ourselves that we have this reset. We have this reset button. We can reset how we view the reality before we fall into these negative loops, before we get into these negative spirals, is that we can reset and we can remind ourselves, look, it's confirmation bias. The world is just a series of facts, and I have the choice to interpret these facts the way I want to interpret these facts. That is a choice that a lot of people have forgotten, and this is literally making one group of people very, very miserable, and the other group of people cannot even understand why these people are so negative. Why are these people falling into these negative patterns when the world is so great and so positive with so many opportunities? If you talk to someone like Anthony Robbins, they're going to tell you the world is fantastic. The world is amazing. They're going to tell you there's so many chances, there's so much potential. And then you talk to someone from, let's say, like an Eastern European country or somewhere like in Croatia where I come from, they're going to tell you, oh, the government is holding me back, I haven't had a raise in a couple of years, everything is shit, the world is going to end, there's going to be a financial crisis, there's no jobs, we're going to go to war soon, there's going to be World War III and things like that. And Anthony on the other side is telling people, man, it's so awesome, take action, be positive, it's all awesome, work on your relationship, become the best version of yourself, take action more, like do all these crazy things. And they are living in the same world. They are literally living on the same planet, and they're having the same data, they have the same information, but they're just interpreting them in a completely different way. And that is two extremes, of course, but let's focus on what we can do in our day-to-day life and literally see where this confirmation bias is basically limiting us, and then shifting it more with our conscious choice, adding that little filter in front of the day and restarting every single day as an assumption that that day is going to be a great day. And if we assume it, your mind will seek proof for the assumption, and you will, what happens? You will find the proof. That is the beauty of adding a filter in front of every day. This is something you can do with tiny little habits, such as every morning when you wake up, when your feet touch the floor, you tell yourself, hey, it's going to be a great day. And by doing that, that's not a huge habit, but it does add a little tiny filter in front of your eyes where you just start seeing the world as a little bit of a better place. And that is ultimately going to spiral into seeing the world as even a little bit more better place. And of course, from then on, momentum kicks in and it is all great. So that's something I wanted to share with you guys here. The links to some of these psychological concepts will of course be in the description below. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below how you resonate with the fact that our selective focus and our interpretation of the world is under our control, and how most people forget that. I would love to hear how that resonates with you guys in the comments below. Make sure to leave your opinion down there, and make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel. Share this video with your friends if you felt like that they fell victim to this concept. And as I said, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.